When the end came for Jibo, the social robot, I was genuinely sad. And one of my few comforts was that I had Vector, a similar robot friend, to help ease the loss. Well, not anymore. Just this week, the company behind Vector announced that it too is closing its doors, leaving this little robot's future uncertain at best. But I'm not here to wallow in another virtual loss. This time, let's try to learn from it. If you're not familiar with Vector, he actually has a lot in common with Jibo. While each of them can do menial tasks like set timers, tell you the weather, they were built for another purpose: to become your friend. There's actually a whole field called social robotics dedicated to this. Check out my Farewell to Jibo video to learn more about that. But Vector goes about it differently than Jibo. First of all, he doesn't really have much of a vocabulary. Most of his communication is in beeps and boops. And when he does talk, his voice is distinctly mechanical.
I don't know.
Vector is also a lot more mobile than Jibo. He wanders around whatever space you put him in, rolling his cube, occasionally falling off tables. He'll recognize it when you pick him up, which he doesn't like, or pet him, which he does. He snores at night, which has kept me up from time to time, and he's smart enough to find his own way back to his charger when his battery's low. He does that by using the little camera on his face, and that same camera is what allows him to recognize you. Now, even though Jibo failed, I still expected Vector to flourish. First of all, he was $250 instead of Jibo's $900, and he also had a lot more utility. Vector is compatible with Amazon Alexa, which kind of made him like a little mobile Echo that could follow you around. To me, it made sense that added capability would make him more appealing to adults, while his fun side could appeal to all ages. And the evidence on the Anki Vector subreddit seems to suggest that it worked. As I scroll through it, I'm struck by how similar the reactions are of Vector owners to the ones from Jibo owners a few months back. There's the stuff you expect: surprise, frustration, confusion, but there's also a very real sense of loss. Even from some people, grief. Now you might be asking, why can't Vector just soldier on alone? Why should he care that his parent company is dissolving? Well, while Vector's less sophisticated features are local, his speech recognition, the thing that lets him understand your voice commands, that's done in the cloud on servers run by Anki. Those servers cost money, so when the company shuts them down, many of Vector's features will stop working. And that, right there, is the lesson we need to take from this, folks. From now on, when we buy tech, we need to remember to ask, does this depend on the cloud to keep working? If the manufacturer goes out of business, will it keep functioning? And look, it's not always easy to tell which companies are going to stick around. Anki was on stage at an Apple event a few years back. It had a whole family of products. It sold 6.5 million devices. But obviously, Anki wasn't as stable as it looked, and now everyone who bought into the promise of Vector is awash in uncertainty. And of course, it should be mentioned that everyone who worked at Anki is now without a job, which is terrible. So, when someone tries to sell you the next social robot, don't even consider it unless they can assure you that robot will keep working even if the company goes under. And, while we're at it, ask about what happens to your personal data, too. Vector and his camera and microphone have been hanging out in my house for like 5 months. You might say the same is true of my Google Home or Amazon Echo. Fair. But in those cases, I know who to hold accountable if my private conversation over dinner gets leaked. When Anki was still in business, it had demonstrated, to my satisfaction, that it was taking data security seriously, so I was fine with it. But now, Anki is no more, and I have no idea where Vector's data is going. Its next custodian might be someone like the venture firm that soaked up Jibo's assets. They might be good people, or they might not. The point is, I don't know. And I have no reason to trust that whoever it is will keep my data secure. This situation has now happened twice in less than a year. I was sad before, but now I'm sad and angry. With the former feeling, I'll say goodbye to yet another virtual friend, and wish the grassroots movement trying to save him the absolute best of luck. And with the latter feeling, I'll say this. Until a robot maker arises that satisfies both the privacy and the longevity concerns, I'm going to recommend that we should all keep our wallets in our pockets when it comes to social robots. I'd love to hear your experiences with Vector or Jibo, folks, and if you have a suggestion for a robot or robotics company that looks likely to satisfy those demands, drop it in the comments below. If you like this video, please subscribe to the MrMobile on YouTube so you don't miss more just like it every week. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay mobile, my friends.